Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. This is a video on vulnerability. I'm going to do my best to speak plainly and exactly what I feel like my vulnerabilities are in life, what I think what vulnerability means. Vulnerability to me means stuff you're afraid to share with anyone, or stuff about yourself that you're just afraid for people to know. That's what vulnerability is to me. So, well, let's get right into mine. I'm Jeremy Johnson, Jeremy Noel Johnson. I like to use my middle name because Jeremy Johnson is far too common. Jeremy Noel Johnson is less common. I'm afraid of my back going out. I have a back surgery coming up pretty soon here. Feels okay right now, but I am afraid of doing some sudden motion that just jolts my back, because when it's tight and the nerve pain is going on, it's like going through hell in the physical world. Right now it's just kind of sore, and it's not feeling really shitty right now, which is good. So I'm very afraid of that. I'm afraid of life being this thing that has no rhyme or reason, meaning you live your entire life, and when you die, it's just like going under anesthesia. You just cease to exist, just like you did before you were born and became conscious. So I'm afraid that life just doesn't mean anything, like as far as before and after goes for each person. They are kind of just, you're just conscious as far as you are conscious. Like, I don't know how to explain it more than that. So one of my vulnerabilities is that everything that's going on doesn't mean anything, and yet I feel so intense and strongly about certain things regardless. So I'm hoping that there's something out there, or I feel like there's something out there. Don't know what it is. What else am I vulnerable to? I am vulnerable towards women, for sure. I was triggered by a woman 2.5 years ago that completely opened me up and made me see all my flaws, or I don't even know if I would call them flaws, just insecurities, weaknesses, things about me that I didn't know were there. And so one of my vulnerabilities is having that happen again with another woman, where I really care about her, but she disappears or disconnects from me, and feeling that pain. And so I'm afraid that I haven't reached a point where I'm strong enough to just not feel the effect from anyone, or any woman, I should say. So I'm vulnerable to that. I'm vulnerable to apathy. Some days I just want to chill out and do nothing, like just veg. And part of that is my back, but just part of my vulnerability is sometimes I don't feel like doing anything. What's another one of my vulnerabilities? Sex is another one of my vulnerabilities. I'm vulnerable when it comes to sex. I was conditioned in church growing up that sex and masturbation was bad. And here I am now, 38. Like, whenever I get close to someone, my mind just goes a little weird. I have to pop a Viagra tablet or something to overcome the deficiency of my mind and limiting beliefs and plain up fucked upness about sex. It sucks. Well, that's one of my vulnerabilities. I haven't solved that, figured that out yet. What else? I'm afraid of getting rejected, of course. Like, who isn't afraid of rejection and not being accepted or seen? I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of getting fired at work and becoming homeless. I know it's not super likely, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm afraid of hurting people. I'm vulnerable to that because I am a little bit chaotic at this point in my life, and I'm afraid of hurting people and the pain that I see people go through. I'm that's a vulnerable thing for me. Yeah, those are a few of my vulnerabilities. This is Jeremy. I'm just a guy. I live in Utah. 38 years old right now. I'm divorced. I have 2 kids. 2 awesome kids. And I feel my most vulnerable when I'm not being myself. And I'm around people who cause me to act differently than I normally would. And I'm trying to figure that out. Usually it's a super attractive, successful woman that does this to me. Someone where I guess I feel like I'm not their equal, and therefore I behave in a way that's incongruent with my authentic personality. And I would like the chance to work on this. The only challenge is women like that don't have a lot of time to invest in talking to someone a lot or to work with them on this kind of thing, but certainly I would like that. I think it would be nice to have someone who sees me and sees that vulnerability and says, yes, I'll work with you on that. Let's meet in person. And to just talk about it with that kind of woman, that'd be awesome. I'd really like that. Well, this is some of my vulnerabilities. Excuse me. What are some of your vulnerabilities? Talk to me.